So, sweetie, this is a great season that we are in, right?
Well, it is the Christmas season, one of my the most favorite time of the year for me. And so we wanted to share some Christmas gifts people can give.
Yes.
Either to themselves or to others.
To someone, yes.
That are on the keto diet and that will help them to do well with the keto diet. Mm-hmm. You know, one of the things people criticize the keto diet about is it's not sustainable. In other words, you can't stay with it. It's kind of like exercise equipment that you buy and spend a lot of money on, and then 6 months later you never use it. They say that's how the keto diet will be. Well, I don't find it that way, but we've got some gifts that will help make it more sustainable and give you more food choices and maybe a little bit easier food choices.
Right.
So we're going to just go through about 7 different gifts, and I have to give a special announcement that at the end of this video, they're going to hear about one of the most unique gifts that I've ever heard of. Something probably 90-some% of our audience has never heard of, and yet it's actually quite practical and a very nice thing. So be looking out for that.
And if you know anything about it before now, you can just leave a comment below and tell us.
Yeah, if you're one of the people who are in the know and you say, I knew about that, you let us know about that.
I've used it before. I know about it.
You have bragging rights.
Yep.
All right, first gift on the list is
the lowly chaffle maker.
The lowly chaffle maker. We call it lowly because it doesn't cost much, and it actually works very well. We call it a chaffle maker. That's not the official name. The official name is a mini waffle maker, and they're everywhere. You can buy them at Walmart, I imagine Target, and definitely on Amazon. And this one I actually got at Goodwill, and some people have no idea what Goodwill is, but where you can buy some used things. So the advantage of this is you take an egg, you take about a half cup of shredded cheese, and I like to mix in a little almond flour and a little heavy cream, and you make something that's very low in carb but is very much bread-like.
Right.
You can use it the way you would eat pancakes. You can use it the way you would eat a waffle. You can put stuff on it like a sandwich. It's just got all kinds of uses.
Yes.
And these things are great. They just don't fail. We've had several of these throughout the year, and we use them often, and they're reliable. They do not mess up, and we haven't had any of them break down on us.
No, we have not.
And you like chaffles, right?
Yeah, I like chaffles. You don't taste the too much of the cheese or too much of the eggs. It's just, well made, and I like it. I like to eat it. And
if you put a topping on it.
If you put a topping on it, it's
even
even wonderful,
good.
yes. And this is really good in making those.
Yeah. So these can sell for as cheap as $10, maybe as much as $13 or $14. Be careful about the color, because sometimes you pay extra for certain colors, and certain colors they've got a lot of, they're wanting to dump, and they'll cut the price down a bit. So anyway, the chaffle maker is a great gift to give to yourself or someone else. Let's go on to gift number 2. Okay, so gift number 2 looks a whole lot like gift number 1, doesn't it?
Yes, they look alike.
And they're both made by Dash. But rather than a chaffle maker, this is a pancake maker. You can make other things as well. And so I got kind of curious, how would pancakes work? I made them with the chaffle recipe, and it gives you more of a pancake-like texture to it. And then I made it with my coconut pancake recipe, and is good. The only negative I would see to this is it makes small ones. Normally, if you're making a big griddle, I like them almost, not quite twice that big, but a lot bigger than this.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to make at least about 3 to really fill up. And that's a little negative to it, but it's cute, it works, and we will be using this here and there. Your opinion on it?
Well, my opinion is that it makes good, pancakes, and the thing is, like, if you don't like the way it kind of cooks it up and down. So by the time it's done, you will know that it's done, and then you can just get it out. Like he says, if you like your pancake a little bigger, it's gonna give you a little smaller size. But you can make 2 or 3, you'll be okay with it. It's good. It's beautiful. I like it.
So when you pull your pancake out, you will notice that one side seems to be done more than the other. They're both done, but one's going to have a brown pancake look to it, and the other's going to be more of a yellowish look.
Yeah.
You really can't help that because one side is going to get hotter than the other, but it'll be done. So you just have to play around with it and see how you like it. Normally what I did was I waited 4 minutes and I flipped it over and then let it cook a couple more minutes to make sure both sides got done. But still, one's going to look brown and one's going to look on the yellowish side. That cannot be helped.
Yeah.
All right. Gift number 3.
Here we have a breakfast sandwich maker.
Okay, breakfast sandwich maker. Now, our daughter gave us this as a Christmas present years ago, like 6 or 7 years ago. And been using it off and on since then, and it has never failed. It has never stopped working. Basically, what you've got is you've got a place to put some bread. Of course, we would use a chaffle or keto bread.
Yes.
And sometimes you have to cut the corners off to make it fit in here. Then you put some cheese on it, some meat, sausage or ham or whatever you like. And then here you're going to put the egg and kind of stir it around a little bit to make sure that the yolk and the white mix together. And then you just clamp it down, wait about 4 minutes, and bam, you've got sandwich maker.
Right.
You don't even have to go to McDonald's, do you?
You don't have to go to McDonald's. You just, in your house, you have homemade. And don't forget to plug it and wait for this to get heated up.
There's a light. There's a light on the bottom, and when the red one will come on first, when the green one comes on, it's ready to go. It doesn't take too long. So you don't have to go to McDonald's. You can make your own. And if you say
breakfast sandwich.
Yeah, if you say that's not going to fill me up, what can they do?
Well, you double your recipes. You can put 2, slices of ham, or you can just double the egg, slice a little bit. Yeah.
Put as much meat on it as you like. Put as much eggs on it as you like. Just don't keep increasing the bread if you're using bread at all. Yeah. And you should be good to go. This one sells for $30, a little more expensive, but to me, consider how many years we've been using it. Yeah. And of course, it was a gift anyway, but it's well worth it.
That's why we're, showing you all these things that someone can have this as a gift. You can just send it to somebody, and the person will appreciate it because we've been using this since then.
Or they can just have some me time and give it to themselves as a gift.
Yeah, give it to yourself as a gift, me time.
Which I've done that. In fact, the very next one was my gift to myself. And let's go to that.
Your gift to us.
To us, right. Not just to myself. What was I thinking?
What are you doing?
Go ahead.
What are you saying?
I lost my head, sweetie. What can I say? I lost my head.
Okay. I'll bring it anyway.
So what do we have here?
We have here the big chaffle maker.
The big chaffle maker. It doesn't make 1 chaffle. It doesn't make 2 chaffles. It doesn't make 3 chaffles. It makes
4 chaffles.
4 chaffles at the same time. And that means you can make a big old recipe.
Yep.
Make 4 chaffles, pull them out, make 4 more chaffles, and then you can just stick them in your fridge, and you're good for the next week with lots of chaffles.
This period, a lot of families will be getting together and then having breakfast. And if you make the chaffles for 8 to 10 people or 12, you just, make 2 times of this will give you 8.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So I've known about this for a long time now, the better part of this year. But they were selling it for $50, and I was like, I think I'll stick with my small ones. And then on Black Friday, they brought it down to $40. I thought, I'm going to jump at that.
It's time to buy.
Well, it's at $40. But I checked today, and today, can't say what it'll be when you see this video, but today it was selling for $35. Wow. So they brought it down $5 more. I should have waited, but...
Okay.
in any case, and we got a beautiful turquoise color.
Right.
Once again, the light will turn on when it's ready. And it's got
green light. Yeah.
It's got a neat little feature we discovered today. We made chaffles for the first time with this today. Right. And the neat little feature is if you put in too much chaffle material, too much of your mixture, it spills out into a little tray that makes a breadstick for you or a cheese stick.
And this is the place here, right here?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that is so cool. I had one and I thought, well, isn't that nice? Instead of just falling all over the bottom like the small ones and you have to wipe it down and it's kind of a waste. In this case, you've got your own little breadstick / cheese stick. So very, very cool.
You know what I was thinking? If you have, like you make your truffles and you have 1 or 2 spoons, that will not be enough to make, one whole truffle. You can just, put it here.
That's right. You could.
And you'll get like 2
And it's even got these little round places. You can make a little ball, a little truffle ball. I don't know why anybody would want to, but
this is so good, yeah.
Anyway, this is pretty good, and right now the price is $35 on Amazon, so think about that.
Yep, a gift.
So what do we have here?
We have here egg cooker, like
egg cooker.
Egg cooker. Mm-hmm.
So this is made by a company named Bella. And it's a pretty neat device. There's a lot of plastic. It doesn't really give you confidence that this is going to last forever, but it's cheap. It's like $13. And the thing of it is, you don't have to set a timer on this.
Right.
You just put water in here, and it'll tell you how much. If you want a hard-boiled egg, you go up to like this level.
The last line.
Medium-boiled egg, you go up to this level. Soft-boiled egg, a little less. You want an omelet, you go here. And you pour that in this base. Then you stick this in. And if you're just doing hard-boiled eggs, you put the eggs in here, and you put the top on. You turn it on. And what it's going to do, it's going to steam those eggs. It's going to boil the water at the bottom. The steam's going to come up. It's going to cook them with steam and heat. And then when it senses that there's no more water, it turns itself off.
Turns itself off. That
Pretty
is
smart.
Cool. Yeah, it's good.
Pretty smart. So if you say, well, this doesn't cook my eggs long enough, just add more water, and it won't turn it off as quick. The less water, the quicker it turns it off. The more water, the longer it will cook them. So it's kind of nice. You can put your eggs in there and forget it. Sometimes you're boiling eggs. You got to keep checking because if the water boils up too high, it's going to spill all over the place.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's not boiling enough. But here, you just put the necessary water in, turn the thing on, go about your business, and it took about maybe 10 minutes to boil the eggs we did this afternoon.
Yeah.
They peel pretty well. So for, what is it, $13? $13 is probably worth it, even if it doesn't last you forever. But kind of a neat device. It's a
beautiful gift. Yeah.
And here we have a chopper. It's actually advertised as a vegetable chopper, but I don't use it for vegetables. I use it for nuts, and it's strong enough and sharp enough that it can chop up nuts pretty well.
Yes.
So why would I want to use this to chop up nuts? And the answer is really for 2 reasons. Now, you may find more reasons, but my 2 reasons are these. Number 1, the oats substitute that we make out of nuts and some other ingredients. I use this heavily. So this is very important in making those oats. We'll have a link in the description how you can make, I call them miracle oats. They're not really oats at all, but they taste better than oatmeal. And they're not nearly as tough on your blood sugar.
Right.
And then the other thing is the pie I make, usually around Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yes.
Pumpkin pie.
Pumpkin pie.
I don't make a flour crust. Why would I make a nasty, old, terrible, glucose spiking, blood sugar raising flour crust?
I don't know.
I wouldn't do it.
I don't know.
I would not do it.
Why would you do it?
What would I do? I might just make
almond, crust.
Right, an almond crust.
Yeah, kind of chop it in here into little pieces.
Yeah.
And there you go.
You pour in about a cup and a half of almonds.
Yeah.
You grind that baby up. Now, it's not going to make the real smooth almond flour that you sometimes buy for things, and I don't want it to. If I wanted that, I'd just use almond flour from the store in the bag. But this will make a rough crust, and boy, by the time you add a little sweetener, not Splenda, but stevia or monk fruit or whatever, and some butter, and mix it all together, you've got a fantastic crust. I like it 1,000% better than a nasty old flour crust.
Okay.
So I use this for that. I use this for the miracle oats that are not really oats at all.
Right.
This one costs I didn't get it down. I think it's $20-some, close to $30. So it's not totally cheap.
Yeah.
But again, we've had this for years.
Yeah, and this you can also use, you chop your onion with it or any vegetable that you want chopped. It's really, beautiful to chop things.
Right. It's like a mini food processor.
Yeah.
You know, they have the big monster food processors that cost a couple $100 and they hold a lot.
Right.
Well, this is for us poor folks that don't have so much money, and we just chop up our little things, and we're happy with our $29 or whatever this costs.
That is how much rich we are. We're rich.
And now we have the most unique gift of all.
Yes, it's so unique, I tell you.
Now, this is what it is, and notice there's no electrical cord coming out of it.
Yeah, some people will be asking, so Dennis, what is it?
Nothing
what
electric about it. This has been around for quite a while, and it is called a butter bell. Can you say butter bell?
Butter bell.
Can you say it 3 times?
Butter bell, butter bell, butter bell.
Butter bell, butter bell, butter bell.
Yeah.
Why would they call it a butter bell? Well, let me give you the backstory as to how we happen to have this butter bell. We did a video a while back where I was talking about how we keto folks love to use butter a lot, but when we try to spread it on some kind of bread or low-carb muffin or whatever, you bring it out of the refrigerator, it's impossible. It just won't spread. Right. So the only option really is either to let it sit out for about 5 or 6 hours, which you never remember to do, or just melt it in the microwave and pour it over it. But somebody made a comment under that video.
Okay.
They said, years ago we used to use a butter bell.
Yeah.
And he kind of half described what it worked. I Googled it. I looked it up on Amazon. He said Amazon still sells these things.
Okay.
And lo and behold, they did, and it intrigued me. So I said, I've got to have me a butter bell.
Okay. And we have one.
We have a butter bell. Now, when I pull this out,
it's a ringing bell. No, it's not ringing bell.
There's the bell. Bell, bell, bell. Now, look what's inside. What is inside of that butter bell?
There is butter in there.
Butter is inside the butter bell. Now, what's the point of this? The point is this. You keep a little bit of water at the bottom of the butter bell.
Yes.
And then you let a stick of butter melt until it's all gooey.
Yeah.
And then you take a tablespoon and you mash it in here. Pack it nice and tight.
Right.
If you do it loose, it'll fall into the water. But if you pack it nice and tight and you leave a little space, then you can put it in here.
Put a little water in there.
You have water in here, and this particular one has a little marker that tells you how far the water should go.
Right, not more than here.
The point of it is this. The water seals that butter. It seals the inside of this thing so no air can get in. So you don't have to put it in the fridge. You can leave it out for weeks, and it will not go bad. It will not smell. It will be just as good 2 weeks later as it was at the time. So if you have some chaffle, or I had a low-carb mug cake, a blueberry mug cake last night.
Yes.
And what did I do?
You just whipped it out and took some butter out of it and started smashing.
I took out my handy-dandy butter bell, and I took a knife and I spread it, and it spread so smooth. I was so proud.
Okay.
I was so proud of my butter bell for being such an efficient tool.
Yeah.
So we're going to have right here on YouTube television or YouTube video,
demonstrating.
Benedicta Pollock is going to demonstrate the proper use of the butter bell.
Yeah.
Go for it. And notice how soft and easy and smooth.
It's so good. It's not blocking up.
No. It's not tearing up the chaffle.
And it will even go smoother on the bread. And it's so good.
The particular one I bought, it cost $15. The original butter bell that they've had around for years, that cost like $28, but I'm too cheap to buy that one.
You mean you didn't buy the original?
I didn't buy the original. In fact, I don't even think they dare call this a butter bell because they're probably afraid of copyright problems. Anyway, when you're done, you put it right back in its little house. Leave it out. Don't put it in the fridge. You defeat the purpose. And bam, you're ready for the next time.
So good.
So when you're at a family gathering and somebody wants some butter, they could say, please pass the butter.
Yep.
Or they could say, please pass the butter bell. And you just hand them the butter bell. Oh. Except I don't think you'd want to keep it in the water. Just keep it out like this. Pass the butter bell, pass the butter bell, pass the butter bell. Bam, okay. You got butter. Mm-hmm. All right, very unique gift. I dare say 90-some% of you have never heard of these things. I hadn't either, neither had Benedicta, but now we have, and we like them.
And when you're done using, you put it back in there.
Right.
Yeah, you can change the water once in a while.
Yeah, some people change the water, others don't. I don't see a whole lot of reason to do that, but maybe once a week or so you might want to change the water. Well, our final gift doesn't have a lot to do with the keto diet.
No.
But I will say, and by the way, it's Benedicta's book. It is
Let's keto.
It is low carb, right? I mean, there's hardly any carbs in this whole book.
No carbs in this. It's so low carb.
But seriously, this is a powerful book, and we have been so blessed to read what people have said about it and to be encouraged by people's comments.
Right.
This basically is the life story of my wife from basically her earliest years up till the time we met and got together, and then talk a little bit about the ministry we've done.
Yeah.
Your life has been extremely interesting. And painful at times, but I mean, it makes an interesting read. You weren't thinking, boy, this is really interesting at the time. You were just suffering and wanting to get out of some of those situations.
I lived through the whole, thing in this book, and I never thought in my mind, oh, this will really be a great story for somebody to read. Or, I was like, okay. When, we started putting it together as a book, I'm like, crying one way, and then sometimes you cry. Many times I cried, and then I'll be like, okay. And some of them, you can laugh it through, as you read it. It's really interesting.
Yeah. So this is the story of God's grace in Benedicta's life, and he's brought you, it's kind of like the Amazing Grace songs, through many trials and tears I have already come. 'Twas grace that brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home. You've been through a lot, and it's been a little easier since we've gotten together.
Right.
But we still have our challenges, not the same as what you'll read in this book. Anyway, this will bless you. One of the most common things people say about this book is, I couldn't put it down.
Yes.
They just start reading, they can't stop. One lady even said, I read it straight through. It's 6 hours of reading.
Yes.
And so it is fascinating, and we believe will honor the Lord Jesus and honor the Heavenly Father as He has worked in your life. Amen?
Yes. One thing about this book is like, this will tell you how somebody, who is in a particular condition or situation of their lives, things are not really going as it should or going well. And as somebody who I lost my dad as a little child, and and then my mom left my dad and married another person while I was still, a little girl, and my stepmom that, who I knew growing up as my mother. And when I was a teenager, she, passed away after a brief not a brief illness. It was a, long time illness that she went through. So, and I was like totally raising myself. So it's like where I'm going with that is like, you can go through, things, and then it will look like, who is here to help me? Nobody's here to help me. But look up to God, because I looked up to God to help me, to see me through, to, help me in my journey. And this is how far the Lord has brought me today. So this will be encouragement to somebody who, maybe in your family or your friends that you think need a little encouragement. Buy this book for the person, and, the person will come back and thank you.
We're all about encouragement, whether it's talking about diabetes or talking about the Lord or our Bible channel where we do Bible studies. It's all about encouragement. Right. God is for you. He's not against you. He's on your side.
Yes.
And we need to be reconciled to Him and trust Him, and He will take care of us. God bless you. We hope to be back and have another Christmas special at some point before Christmas. But in any case, we appreciate you, our viewers.
Thank you very much for watching.